Imaging Place is a place-based virtual reality project that combines panoramic video and three-dimensional virtual worlds to document situations where the forces of globalization are impacting the lives of individuals and local communities. The goal of the project is to develop the technologies, the methodologies, and the content for a truly immersive and navigatable documentary media based in real places around the world. This work has been ongoing since 1997 and includes hundreds of individual locations and hours of content from Beijing, Taipei, Sao Paulo, British Columbia, Warsaw, the US-Mexico border, Miami, Kaliningrad, Niagara, New England, Appalachia, and much, much more. I'm going to take you into a virtual reality scene from the Thompson Rivers at the Kamloops Indian Residential School. The idea is that as you approach ground level, the scene is made up of a number of entry points. We'll call them nodes. When I click on one of these nodes, it puts you at ground level using a combination of panoramic photography in the early days. I'm able to view the scene from all directions, and ultimately I encounter the denizens of the place where the story will unfold. It's also an experiment in nonlinear narrative in that the story can be accessed from any location along the line. At the Kamloops Indian Residential School, you're able to, because the work is spatial, you're able to navigate through the residential school and hear the stories of the former residents of the schools. This is Don Seymour.
When I first came through the doors of the residential school, I was so scared because I didn't know what to expect. And when I first seen a priest and a nun, I couldn't figure out what they were doing because the priests were sort of like wearing dresses. And I couldn't figure out what kind of a world I was in because they showed no emotions or anything. And where I came from, my family, like, we always were greeted, like with good morning and whatever. And when we came through the doors, it was just a different world.
Right, Quest, Evelyn Camille. Hello, my name is Evelyn Camille. I am shoe swap from Kamloops Indian Band.
It's like penguins.
The mapping system is keeping track of your progress through the space. So now I'm going to show how you can move fluidly through these spaces. I'm going to jump across the river to the Weyerhaeuser pulp mill plant, which is this part of the project deals with the software lumber treaty between the U.S. and Canada.
So you get your nose in a good book, and it's an amazing thing. But you think about that. Well, I don't know what I think, but you think all of this is done in secret. It's almost like the making of books is a secret activity here, and we're standing here in front of this fence, but this pulp that makes books just sort of, it seems to, it's the effect here that it sort of arises out of this cauldron. And so there's this really hideous beauty here in this place.
So the work is loosely structured out after the thinking and the theory of the Situationists International, a group from Paris in the 1950s and 60s who coined the term, along with Guy Debord, the idea. I decided that I wanted to integrate the work into more fluidly onto the internet so that other people could participate in, so that the work could become indeed inhabitable and participatory. So for the past several years, what I've been doing is I've been taking the archive I've created from Imaging Place and integrating it into online virtual world environments. The idea is that to make the work more participatory and to make it more accessible to individuals from all around the world. As you can see, the interface is the same. It starts with the global perspective. Each of the locations are marked by the intersigns that were familiar from the older version of the interface, and in the tradition of the Situationists International, the avatar walks from the worldwide perspective up to these platforms up in the sky that are represented by overhead aerial images again. And you can see that the on-ground location is still mapped as it was in the earlier versions, but now I'm able to share this experience with other avatars online. And those avatars can participate and add comments and so forth to the content of the work. Now, the way that the content is delivered in this case is that the avatar walks to the center of one of these nodes and is able to change the camera perspective to mouse look, and then becomes completely immersed in this virtual space using the panoramic still imagery. And the narrative portion is handled with the using an audio file.
Como que você se chama?
Luiz Augusto dos Santos.
Luiz, conta pra mim, conta pra nós o que aconteceu hoje com você.
Aconteceu que o tal do rapa da prefeitura, que é mandado pelo seu Serra, veio para tomar nossas carroças. Porra, nosso ganha-pão. Eu acho que estão assaltando a gente.
Wander through the space, and each space has its own audio file.
Estou aqui agora no Castelinho e a gente vai adentrar nesse mundo onde é um mundo de muitas histórias. Histórias de assassinato no passado.
So I'm going to go ahead and fly around the Imaging Place location a little bit just to give you an idea of the scope of the work. Here's work from... give this movie a second to load here. And this allows the...
so here's the initial test at this, with this new setup here. Looks like it seems not quite right. So here's the initial test at this new setup. It seems like it's going to work out okay. I'm a little bit worried about just holding the camera out like this, like I'll be too close somehow.
But this
should work. Let me give it a try, see how it goes.
The technology that I'm going to be developing as I try to move this project to address.
So here's the initial test at this, with this new setup here. Looks like it seems not quite right.
By developing the user into
So here's the initial test at this new setup. It seems like it's going to work out okay. I'm a little bit worried about just holding the camera out like this, like I'll be too close somehow. But this should work. Let me give it a try.